Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. It is sponsored by Fanduel. It's the show where we bring on two of the sharpest minds in the biz, helping to walk you through the slate for twice in one day. How lucky can one guy get? I get to hang out with my dude, Dave Potts, a.k.a. Cheese is Good. What up, Cheese?
Hey, yeah. More excitement is on tap for this evening.
Ooh, huge slate. We got a huge slate. Can't go
I'm doing
wrong.
well.
Woo. It's 3 games, Cheese. It's 3 games.
Hey, that's people are talking about NBA, and that's one game. So I feel like we have 3 times as much to talk about. Yeah, and we do. And in fact, we do. And there's more players that will actually play for each team, too. So there's more than 3 times as much.
This is actually a really good point.
Thank you.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Why are people talking about basketball?
Should play this Joker guy in most of your lineups. Okay. Come on, I got more than that for you.
Yeah. Hey, that's good basketball analysis. I have a basketball story I'm going to dive into in a little bit because I think it's pretty good. That's coming shortly. But first, we got to say what up to Tasteful Tides, aka Tim. What up, Tim?
Yeah, not much. Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm pretty over basketball. I don't know about you, Kevin. I mean, are you even gonna watch the finals, or you just say forget it? Like, are you a Heat fan? Are you a Denver fan?
I'm a Joker fan. I'm a fan of both teams. I'm a huge Joker fan because his passing blows my mind. But I expect they're just gonna roll, and I expect it's gonna be a crappy finals. But I hope it's not. Maybe we'll be surprised. You never know.
Stop being such a downer. Why would you say it? It's going to be amazing.
Are you gonna watch the Stanley Cup, Rob?
Yeah.
Almost definitely not. I don't even know. Is it Vegas Knights and who?
And Florida Panthers.
Yes, ask Dean who it is next time you see him.
Yeah, God, I hate Miami. I hate everything about South Florida. I hate people from South Florida other than Dean.
You can hate Dean. It's okay to hate Dean.
I love Dean. Hey, we're going to get into some basketball content in just a bit. I do want to point out that this show that we're on right now is sponsored by Fanduel. And by the way, if you're in South Florida, don't be offended. You know it's true. It's fine. Hey, sign up for the Fanduel Sportsbook for legal sports betting state. Take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $2,500. That's $2,500 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. That is huge. It's huge. Make sure you're getting in on that. Otherwise, you are doing it wrong. We're going to get some baseball. I got to talk a basketball story. Cheese, this will not make you excited, but Tim, I think this will. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh, I got the wonky mic again.
It went crazy again. Yeah.
It went crazy. I think you were talking really fast, but now that you're back to speaking more slowly, it's
same as the early show. It went only during the promo read. It was so weird.
That's exactly maybe I go too fast.
Yeah, it's because you're speaking fast
during the.
Yeah.
Dean says I've hacked into Ross' internet connection. So today, just literally less than an hour ago, I was picking up my 2 kids from school, and I walked past in school in daycare. I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I walked past Eric freaking Gordon.
I've heard of him.
Interesting. Yeah.
He brings his kids to my kids' school. They are friends. My kids' friends and his kids, they are friends. So I have a new life goal. I am going to be friends with Eric Gordon, and we're gonna hang out and we're gonna play basketball and video games and stuff together. Isn't this amazing?
Sounds good. I'm sure he had a similar reaction. You are a more famous sports weatherman than he is a basketball player. Like it's not even
true.
Close.
That is true.
That's actually very true. Yeah.
Wait, was he in Space Jam? Someone said from Space Jam. I have no idea if he was in Space Jam.
It's been so long since I've seen that.
It's a callback from earlier Grinders lives during basketball. There's apparently an actor in Space Jam named Eric Gordon who's not the NBA player. And Kirkwood convinced everyone that Eric Gordon was in Space Jam. And we looked it up, and it's like, he is, but it's not the basketball player.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it was just a call back to that.
All right, that's good. I don't think this is delusional. Someone said, Kevin, you're delusional. No, we're going to be best friends. It's going to be amazing. We're both young, athletic, cool, hip dads. We both. In his life, he's made $180 million. I've made slightly less, but I think we're gonna be best friends. I'm looking forward to it. All right, that's the end of my story time. Let's talk about the baseball slate. Cheese, I don't know. Dive into it.
I mean, okay, so there's 3 games, and there are at least 5 good pitchers, and quite possibly 6. On DraftKings, you can play absolutely whoever you want for whatever reason. Like, there is no salary cap on DraftKings. On FanDuel, there's kind of a salary cap, but you can play almost whoever you want. We've got this rookie pitcher now going for Houston, which kind of shakes things up a little bit because it brings an unknown into things. But realistically, he will go 5 innings and get some strikeouts and walk too many guys. And I like the Angels bats, and I do not like the Houston pitcher. If this was a different slate, I would love a 4K pitcher on DraftKings with some strikeout upside. But again, there is literally no salary cap on DraftKings. I have several lineups with more than $5,000 left. Wow. Without playing the cheap pitcher. So, like, I just don't see how or why you could possibly need it. And there's very little even to say on the offensive side. I mean, there are 6 teams playing. They're all pretty closely bunched in team total, other than Boston, who's kind of boom or bust, facing a boom or bust pitcher. But if we assume that Boston is the chalk, I don't
love
it. Basically, Boston with the expensive bats in the Angels-Astros game are the chalk. And unfortunately, you can just play it all. You can play Devers, Ohtani, Trout, Alvarez easily all together in the same lineup. And that's the chalk.
Okay. Was that a whole breakdown, or was that a pitcher breakdown?
That was the overview of everything. Okay. But we'll talk specifically about pitcher, I guess. And I am curious to hear what Tim thinks, because there's a lot of different ways to go. I think this is a wonderful slate to just be different, because all these pitchers are good enough. I don't think anyone deserves to be 2 to 3 times as owned as the other people. And that's what we have with Chris Sale. I mean, whatever, call him what you want. Chris Sale is probably the top pitcher, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really like him more than Tanner. Supposedly Tanner Bibee is his name, but Tanner Beebe, who I like better. I like Tanner Beebe the best, and I love Hunter Green. He's the riskiest option because he could give up 7 homers, but he's also the highest strikeout pitcher on the slate, period. And other than Tanner Bibee, nobody has a good strikeout matchup. So I'm playing Hunter Green a lot, fully realizing that he could give up, I mean, literally 4 home runs in 3 innings. But I'm playing for the strikeouts. So give me Hunter Green with Bibee and some Pablo Lopez. I'm not playing any Detmers or Blanco.
Okay. I suppose we'll get Tim's takes.
That's on FanDuel, right? She's that you're not playing any Detmers or Blanco, right?
You would be surprised to hear I have 0 on DK as well.
Oh, okay. I was just making.
Because of the whole salary cap thing. There's just so much room.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that more for the viewers than for myself. But okay, yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, Blanco is. I think he's pretty unnecessary tonight, just because it's just so easy to fit in whoever you really want to play. I really want to just kind of emphasize what she said about the Cincinnati-Boston game. This is kind of like the game. Anyway, all 4 sides of the game, whether it be Sale, Green, Cincinnati bats, Boston bats, like this is the game that's going to be like very, very like it's like a polarizing game. Big total for Boston bats. Sale has a great projection. So getting some leverage, maybe with a couple Cincinnati stacks, just to get different, is a really good idea. But just to focus like who my favorite pitchers would be, it's Beebe for me, and then Lopez are probably my 2 favorite. Green for tournaments is obviously fine, and then Sale. Like if you're playing cash games tonight, I usually play cash games every single slate. I'm not playing cash games tonight because this slate.
I'm proud of you. I've been rough.
Good choice.
This slate is stupid, and I'm just gonna throw in one single entry team and hope that I hit. But like right now, I'm doing BB and Lopez on DK, and I'm doing Lopez on Fanduel. But it's, you could really, if I was 150 maxing on DraftKings tonight, I personally, I would maybe have a little bit of Blanco just to be a little bit different. But I totally understand Cheese's point that you could easily X them out too.
Yeah, and I would make the point, like, play Blanco and still leave the salary. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
But that's the only way I think to do it.
Yes, I'm glad that you said that. How much? What's the most that you're leaving on the table tonight, Cheese?
I've got 2 lineups over 5K, and I'm not doing anywhere near 150. I think I have about 20 lineups, and I think probably half of them have more than 3K left.
Yeah, that's smart.
I feel like no one who is watching would do that unless you pointed that out. It just goes against everything that you were used to, conditioned to doing. So I feel like that's a good thing to point out. Let's talk about the bats, because I feel like pitcher wise, we're a little bit spread out here. And then the bats, I feel like it's kind of the same thing, right? Or are we kind of shotgun, just automatic everywhere?
I don't think since, every team is going to have some ownership. There's just no way around that. It's just not possible. But I'm not convinced that like there'll be that many Cincinnati stacks, despite the fact that they have like a 4.18 total. Just because a lot of people are going to flock to Chris Sale, which could be, Chris Sale could easily be the best pitcher on the slate tonight. Would not surprise me in the least. But I think in terms of like quote unquote leverage on the field, Cincinnati would be the most contrarian, followed by Cleveland. Those would probably be the 2 most contrarian stacks, and then Boston's definitely the clear chalk. And then it's gonna be, somewhere like with LA and Houston will be the next 2 chalky teams. And then where Minnesota lands, Minnesota will land somewhere in the middle, I'm assuming.
Okay, Cheese. What are your thoughts stack wise? And I like this question from Eric. Would you say stacking is less relevant in a DK GPP than usual on a night like tonight, or more relevant? I don't know.
I would say it's neither more nor less relevant, because the whole thing you want to do is make sure you have something different somewhere. And there's actually a lot of ways to go with stacking that make you different. Like a lot of the reasons I have left so much salary is that I'm playing, Jaron Duran in a Red Sox stack instead of just playing Mike Trout because I can, because of the salary, or playing, even going weird in that, play Will Brennan in a Cleveland stack instead of playing Jordan Alvarez. Like, so yes and no is the answer. If you're maxing out salary, I would not stack.
Okay. And Cheese, you want to talk about some of your favorite stacks in general, or is it kind of all of them?
I'm putting the Angels first and the Reds second.
Okay. Anything else you want to do, or should we go position by position here before we take some QQs?
Yeah, positions. There's a couple players at each position.
There's a few. Yeah. All right. Let's start a catcher.
Kind of Tyler Stevenson, I guess. He's the only player with any reason to want to play him. Even if you're not full stacking, I would just add a guy that correlates a little bit.
Okay. Tim, I feel like you're probably in agreement because she was pretty adamant there.
Yeah, catcher's real bad. I wouldn't bother playing a catcher on FanDuel unless he's part of some real contrarian stack on FanDuel. But yeah, it's a really, really bad position. So I probably, I'm worried that, just real quick, I'm kind of worried that like Connor Wong batting 8th is going to be the chalkiest. And if you wanted to go like underweight on him, I think that's a pretty good play, just to be underweight, because I think he's a pretty bad chalky catcher. That's just my take.
Yeah, that's part of why this slate is still kind of interesting. Like the fact that Connor Wong is kind of chalky.
Right.
Like, what world is this?
Right. I think this is actually a pretty interesting tournament slate. There's a reason I'm not playing cash tonight because I always play cash and I'm just not even.
And you'd be required to play Connor Wong.
Yeah, basically. And
that's where you drew the line.
Yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Your thoughts at first, Tim?
Yes. Shohei Ohtani on DraftKings. He's easily the top play. I would be getting to a lot of him. Spencer Steer, he's showing up with a lot of ownership. He projects really well. I'm not totally convinced he's going to be the most popular first baseman on DraftKings, but I guess if he is really going to be the most popular, I'm a little bit more bearish than the projection. I think Joey Gallo, given his ownership projection and his propensity for amazing power, I think he makes for a great play. And then other than that, I guess it's just whoever you're stacking.
Okay, Cheese.
So while there is no salary cap on DK, basically there is kind of a salary cap on FanDuel. But so I want to save money, but then all the first basemen are cheap. Unfortunately, you're not really saving money by going to like Josh Bell is kind of my favorite cheap guy, but I mean Justin Turner and Tristan Casas are under 3K. Basically, I like Gallo and Bell, and that's kind of it on FanDuel, and then Ohtani and Steer on DraftKings.
How much was Bell?
2,500.
Yeah, and he's 2.2 on DK, but you don't really need the salary on DK.
Gotcha. All right. Second base, Cheese.
Altuve and Brandon Drury. And passing it along.
Okay, Tim.
I mean that would be it for me. I still think paying up for like Jonathan India, he's super expensive on both sites. I think if you like one off Jonathan India, that would be super contrarian, and we know that he has a ceiling. So I think if you want to get super different and get away from the chalkier Altuve, I think that's like a good tournament pivot.
This is one of those slates where you're almost intentionally making the wrong moves, right? You're like,
yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
You've got the money to do it. You're making the wrong moves, leaving too much. But there's like, yeah, you're just trying to get different. Is essentially it.
I'd like to hear what Cheese would say to that comment, but I think that's true.
Cheese,
agree. Yeah.
All right, Tim, third base, and that's just why we're here giving content, trying to tell people who the right plays are, but the right plays are the wrong plays on a slate like this, which is just
You can play a few of the right plays, but don't try to play all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like you kind of have this very bizarre path to victory tonight. Like you can't, like in baseball, it's hard to play all the chalk and win all the money anyway. But I mean, tonight it's even harder. Like I mean, it's like you got to get really, really weird to get different tonight. So third base, right, Roth?
Yeah.
So there's really two amazing third basemen, Devers and Jose Ramirez. Then of course you have Alex Bregman. Third base is like really, really strong. So, and then Spencer Steer is a third baseman on FanDuel, and it's a very, very, very strong position. I would try to spend my money at third base tonight. Like that's not a position that I want to save money at. Justin Turner is pretty cheap on both sites, but he's also going to be very, very popular. And I'm not really all about playing Justin Turner chalk.
Gotcha. All right. Cheese, this reminded me a little bit of, I think it was early last year, maybe even the season before. At one point you were like, on a slate like this, you can't think your way to winning a GPP. And I don't know if this is that kind of slate, but you essentially said like, you just have to luck your way or even stupid your way into a GPP win on a slate like this.
Yeah, stupid your way into it is kind of the way I would phrase it. Yeah.
All right.
But to what Tim was saying, I think third base is maybe the position you don't need to stupid your way. Because Devers will soak up enough of the ownership that playing Jose Ramirez and Alex Bregman, I think, is fine. And then I do want to have some Spencer Steer on FanDuel where he's third base only.
Very good. All right. How about the shortstop, Cheese?
Yeah, it's no. Matt McClain is my favorite play, and Jeremy Pena is next. I think the good thing about this position is it'll be kind of spread out. I think this is the position people will just throw something in a stack, and I'm okay throwing McClain in a non-stack.
Okay. Tim?
Yeah, I completely agree with Cheese. I'd say the only other, like, if you kind of land there and you just don't know what to do, I think Ahmad Rosario is decent. He's reasonably priced on both sites. Like, doesn't have a lot of like home run pop, but he does have pretty decent batted ball skills. So I'm okay with him if you land there.
All right, take me to the outfield.
Yeah, so outfield is always loaded. Ohtani, if you're not playing him at first base, Trout is clear. Alvarez, all really good spots. I do think that these Angels outfielders are like Renfroe and Ward are extremely cheap, and they're going to carry some ownership, but I just don't forget about them, because like we always naturally want to like pay up for all these amazing outfielders all the time, and then sometimes I think we forget about these good, really good hitters at outfield that are at really good prices.
Cheese?
Yeah, this is a good example of why I'm leaving salary. Like, instead of Ohtani and Trout, or instead of Alvarez and Tucker, play Ward and Renfroe or Julks and Myers. Like, these are the things you have to do. You don't even have to switch teams if you don't want to. Just play someone different. And those cheaper guys have home run upside. Julks and Renfroe in particular. I saw someone ask somewhere in one of the chats, is Hunter Renfroe a pinch hit risk? Essentially, no, is the answer to that. The bat shows him at 0%. I would have said 0 to 1%. The Boston guys, Verdugo and Yoshida and Duran, I really prefer just in stacks. Although, I mean, you can throw darts at all these people because it's a lot of good outfielders. But I would rather play the cheaper guys and just leave the salary.
Okay. We do have a few questions, but how sharp is the average player on a 3-game slate a couple months into the season? Because I feel like the answer is really sharp. And I'm wondering if we're overthinking, and everybody is like, I'm not going to play the best guys. I'm going to leave money on the table. Like, is there some reverse contrarian to just doing the obvious thing and playing all the best dudes, or no, that's still going to be chalk?
In the big tournaments, I would say the answer is no, because the 150 maxers are going to cover all of the correct plays.
Sure. Okay.
And the few people who aren't sharp who are playing are gonna play the correct plays. Like, if you just make like 2 lineups and you just play occasionally, and you're like, I'll play tonight, and you're not going to play Corey Julks instead of Jordan Alvarez.
I see. Okay. So essentially, even if 80% of the field is sharp, the other 20% is just going to do the chalky thing, and that's too much anyways.
Right.
Kind of. All right. Okay. How about the weather on the games? It's the weather in let me see. Hang on. I don't think there was anything too exceptional. The weather in Boston's nice. It's warm. The weather in Minnesota's warm. I mean, there's nothing all that exciting to report weather-wise. Okay, should we take a couple quick QQs?
Yep.
Let's do it. Large field GPP from Derek. Any interest in 5 Houston with 3 LA, or would you rather go 5 LA and 3 Houston? Cheese?
I slightly prefer the Angels side, honestly.
Okay, Beaners is your favorite.
Yep.
Sure.
Sorry.
Tim, go for it. What's on there?
No, I was just gonna say, try to eat money with that team.
Okay.
Yeah, really, any 5-3. You should.
Yeah, any 5-3, you should be trying to eat a lot of money. That's all I was gonna say.
And by eat a lot of money, you mean leave a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you eat it or just put it on a shelf, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Just don't use it.
Yeah. All right. Favorite FanDuel GPP pitcher, Tim?
I guess it's Lopez.
Cheese.
Hunter Green.
Okay. Very good. We've got less than a minute until lock. We've answered all the questions. There were only 2.
Well, if I have a question, since
Yeah, please.
we're out of questions, are you going to the game tomorrow?
I don't think so. I know.
And not only do you have Otani, Framber Valdez got moved back to tomorrow just for you, so you could have the 2 goats going. Like, it was such a great game. I might go to Houston and go to the game.
It's childcare, man. It's a childcare issue.
Have Eric Gordon watch your kid, and you go to the game.
You're right. I need to become.
He owes you a favor. I mean, just call him.
All right. Hey, we have hit the lock on that note. I'm going to look at tickets again tonight. I'm not fully out, but I'm leaning no. We'll see what happens.
Otani Valdez. I mean, that's awesome.
Sounds pretty good. It does. All right. Hey, guys, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button for us. Make sure you're checking out the FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm going to reread that promo since I got too excited and destroyed my microphone. Sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in a legal sports betting state. Take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers get the no sweat first bet up to $2,500 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions do apply. I would read that with more enthusiasm, but apparently.
This is almost comical at this point. Do you realize it happened again?
No, are you serious?
It happened.
Yes,
exactly
and it hadn't happened since
your mic must have been supplied to you from a competitor. I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. That's amazing. I thought if I read it like as like low key as I possibly could, it wouldn't do it.
Right at the beginning, the first couple words, I thought you had it.
Man.
But then
all right. I'm gonna slow down the reads next time. I feel like between the 2 times I've done it, it was one full promo read. But next show I'll make sure to get the whole thing in. We're going to bounce on out of here. So for Cheese, for Tim, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.